The current state of data management. If you look at how we deal with data currently, there's a fixed flow that most companies work with. So we connect to our data sources and then we go through a transformation process. And once the data's been transformed, we load it into our data warehouse. Our data warehouse then grows far too big for you to actually do the reporting on. And so therefore you do a further transformation. The data gets put into a data mart. And then once you've got the data in there, we then need the business analysts to actually operate some very, very complex tools to be able to produce answers to questions. Now, if we look at this process and start breaking it down, this isn't a modern process, even though that's how most people feel. You will take the first step, the transformation process, the ETL process or the ELT process. This is actually designed back in the 1970s. This isn't new technology. This has been around since the 1970s. If you look at the dimensional model that most people actually use to build their data warehouses, this was designed back in the 1960s. Once again, not new technology, but it's just the way that we do things currently. And even the term data warehouse was coined in the 1980s. It was being used before that, but even so, none of this is actually new technology. But a lot of people are just stuck with the idea that this is the way that things are done. As we move forward, you've got to understand there's going to be a paradigm shift in the way that we work. The idea of actually moving the data from one platform to another is really very expensive, and it's prohibitively so in a lot of cases. You have petabytes of data that you're working with, and more companies actually have very large quantities of data. You've already invested in a platform to be able to deal with that. Now you have to invest in a second platform to be able to deal with it when you put it into your data warehouse. So the panacea really is to be able to access the data at source and be able to do your processing in the middle and then report on it immediately without having to move the data in the first place.